can say because.
Same organization?
No.
No?
Sorry? He's from...
Who would you want in your country, your city?
The arguments and adapt with the statistical and
Tell us when you're ready. Don't sit. Why did you put it here? I didn't put it there. You don't see the government as twice. And when your time elapses, I will be continuously reading, so you know you have to stop your speech.
Mr. Chairman, we are 6 representatives of the government, which are Cleo Gilmore, Daniel, Stefan, me, Anton, and Dumi, who is the president of our government. The speakers in this debate will be Gilmore, me, and the president, Dumi. Mr. Chairman, we meet today to implement the motion why we would implement 3 hours of non-formal activities in a week. Why? We are doing all of this because nowadays we are seeing children focusing a lot on studies and formal education. That for them in the future, for them is not healthy and can cause also mental health in the future, and this is not a good for our country. For statistics, that I am putting this on the table, and after Gilmore will explain the statistics, the children will be more healthy and they can grow up more as a good people. And they can be much better in the lives, and the country from this all will benefit also. So for this, we have to vote in favor for this introduction of 3 hours of formal education in school. And the future population will thank us for this motion. Thanks.
First speaker of the opposition, to make Rishi Secondi, tell us when you're ready. Don't sit. Why did you put it here? I didn't put it there. You don't see the government.
Can I start?
Tell us when you are ready to start.
I'm ready. Hello guys, we are here today all together to explain why non-formal education shouldn't be mandatory. 3 hours every day in a week is too much. My team, here we have Giovanni and Cosmin representing us, and we'll tell you more about the argument later. So, basically, my lovely Antonio said that the mental of the youth is not good. Putting 3 hours, it's gonna help them, but actually it's even worse, because the youth have a schedule that is already fixed, 5 hours per day with formal education that is gonna help you for the future. If you put 3 more hours, mandatory, doesn't make any sense, because they will lose first the priority. It's much more efficient, the formal education, to be in their life. And also, they don't have time for themselves, for the family, because 5 hours, it's a lot in a day. You know, we sleep 8 hours, we need to eat, to shower, to have fun all together. But if you put 3 more hours, 8 hours is 1/3 of a day. So in the end, you are gonna lose much more time that you can put in something else, like studying for the school, preparing, getting a certificate that will help you in the future.
He's saying it's too much, but I was wondering if he knows that 80% of the knowledge you get in school is not implemented. So we are talking about a system that only provides 10 or 20% of the knowledge that is assimilated. So you say also that non-formal education doesn't provide time for family, so non-formal education doesn't say that at all. On the contrary, so we have lots of time for socializing, for making friends, and that's one of the most precious tools about the non-formal education. So when you talk about non-formal education, you're not talking about gaining the competencies you should gain at school. You can gain lots of competences at school, but if you don't socialize, if you don't know how to interact with the others, if you don't know how to manage conflicts, if you don't know how to understand other people's opinions and start trying to establish bridge, that's not the knowledge you get from formal education won't be effective for nothing. And I want to raise more two topics that I'm sure will convince our lovely audience of the benefits of the non-formal education, because if school is building technocrats, so you can have all the knowledge in the world that can allow you to build the atomic bomb, but there are other types of knowledge, like non-formal education, that can put you more keen to build, for instance, a machine that can reduce the attacks of cancer, etc., etc. And I want to finish with two more arguments that I think that can really convince you about the importance of non-formal education. So 60 or 70% of the people, according to studies, say yes to non-formal education, although they don't know the right way to find these kind of associations. And yes, this is a thing that we have to improve, not only the government, but we invite all the oppositions to make on this struggle, and also the crowd. And last but not the least, an example for my country that is really true. 75% of Portuguese students can't understand the bus timetable. So this is a major problem. This is a daily example, and this is not taught by schools. And I want to raise the wings for another topics. Know how to cook, how to make an efficient meal, how to make some works at your home, at your car, and these are the things that are provided not in school, and we must emphasize. Thank you to all. I'm ready for some questions.
Hello guys, I'm here to give you some counter arguments of what they say, because we watched some studies, okay, about the Eurostats in Denmark. Denmark is a very well country, okay, they study a lot. But look what these have done. If you have 3 more hours to the youth program, he won't be able to take it. And also, the percent in Denmark about the Eurostat is 78% suicidal rate of youth. Okay, so 78% of the suicidal is in the youth center. Also, this is not good for the mental health. Okay, you are putting too much pressure on them, and this should not be mandatory. A youth should decide if he wants or not to do the non-formal education. I want to point also on the facilitator of the non-formal education process, because the teachers are not ready to implement that. And if they do it wrong, they will create mess in the youth head. If the youth knows that every day he has 3 hours of non-formal education, the formal education goes down, because all the day he will be waiting for that 3 hours that are happening every day, and the formal education will go to the garbage, okay? So this is also not good. And okay. Also, the formal education for a youth is better because it gives you the certified, okay? You get a certification from it. The non-formal education is uncertified, okay? And also, the non-formal education based on your mind, or your mindset. A youth is not prepared for getting the informative importance, let's say, information by himself. He needs a teacher, a person coordinating him to the lesson, okay? And non-formal education is not giving you that. This is all I can say, because I think nothing more.
With a lot of limitation, living they can just do this. With the formal education offer strict time, strict homework, strict adherence to a system that are broken from the beginning. They say it's too much pressure from the non-formal education, but from this statistical that are coming from the Council of Europe, everybody choose the non-formal education more than formal. Take it and learn. We have the time, and the time coming where is for the freestanding history, where the competence are more important than what you learn. The question is not what you know, it's what you know to do right now. Where you can develop this type of competence in the non-formal context, where you can take a certificate things, because we have projects with certification that are recognized of entire of the world, and you say we have too much pressure from the non-formal education. But how did you feel, guys, when the teacher come in the classroom and say, 4, stay down? It's good, no? The pressure comes from non-formal education, right? It's time to change the formal education and try to help every person that are involved in this process. Thank you.
How much time?
Last speaker of the opposition. You have
How much
3 minutes.
time?
Go 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Tell us when you can start.
Okay, I can start. This is a nice game, this is a nice activity, but actually with this one, you guys touched a really sensitive spot that I personally have. Florin knows I've been doing this for 16 years, so practically I've seen a lot of generations. Okay, as a game, it's nice to invent some percentages and so on. You actually said that this is really true, what you said about the Portuguese. But leaving aside these, all of these studies and all these percentages, guys, what we are talking about, what you are talking about, is the fact that formal education is already broken. Why? Because it doesn't function. It cannot satisfy all of the learning needs that we have in society today, which is okay. We're in a constant development process. Formal education has its own specific process. Non-formal education has its own specific process. Both of them are equally important, okay? But let's not mix it up. If this formal education, you said 80% of the learning isn't useful in life, then it means it's broken. Instead of adding something more to the confusion, let's get people in formal education better trained, better educated, and then the problem about non-formal education. I'm a complete fanatic of non-formal education. Without non-formal education, I would have been by today in prison or dead, personally. And it's not a lie, it's actually true. So let's not take it as a joke. That thing over there is really, really important. But also this, they are equally important. Let's not mix it up though. There is a huge problem over there. As nice and fun to get together and drink and travel and do, there's a huge problem over there. We lack proper structure. There are no people who are really trained to do that. So in the moment where you take those professionals or you teach the teachers to do this, you're losing out on consistency for both of them. Okay, just I'm trying to keep you in the game, but actually, I get a bit upset about this. Don't treat this as a joke. Don't treat that as a joke. No, I'm not talking about that anymore. It's okay. I mean, non-formal education is very good. You can do it in schools as well, but you have to use a proper process. I've been active since before the Youth in Action program. So before there was the Erasmus Plus program, before the 7 years there was the Youth in Action program, and before it was the youth program. And there has been thousands of training courses in non-formal education, and I can personally say more than 3/3, 75% or whatever, a lot of people that come to my non-formal training courses, a lot of people that I see that have been, they still don't have a proper clue of what non-formal education is. They still don't. They just wing it. Okay? So I would completely agree to have half and half. But it's not feasible, it's not realistic. As organizations, as people active in the formal education system, let's try to lobby on it. Let's try to understand what we need to fix over here. And let us, with our passion and time, fix a bit over there. The Finnish education model, you heard about it. The best educational system in the world. If you would apply it in Italy or in Romania, it would screw up kids. Completely, definitely. Why? Because it's the cultural aspect, it's the people, it's the nature. You cannot apply this and that just like that. Okay? So let's have our priorities straight. Not formal education has a huge problem. We all know that. But it needs to be fixed with formal education. Don't bring something else over there. I mean, I like to have steak for breakfast, but that's not breakfast food. That's not breakfast. This is what we are talking here again. So maybe we can have a workshop to discuss better about the principles of non-formal education, because we all love it. But let's try to understand it better. Okay, we can talk even with the
What's your idea for that?
So, not only for the government, but for the opposition as well. How do you implement your...
That kind of.
With this 3 hours a week, we're gonna make it during one day, like Saturday. To put 3 hours where we make an entire context for the participant to increase the capacity and to participate for thematic class, like workshops, like sport activity, like activity with or outdoor, and many like this. To create social inclusion, to create accepting, to create equitable and solidarity notion for them, to be more united. Because a strong community, it's always a community that
That speaks.
That speaks. And we need to be there with 3 hours to listen them and to offer the context that involves something. So we have the program, we know what we want to do and when.
Thank you.
And we have to answer the same question?
Of course.
Okay. I mean, the question is very obvious. You still haven't explained the concrete plan of action. Whilst on this other side, I already said, instead of focusing our efforts in trying to do these 3 hours or not, the plan of action is very simple to improve and maybe to get to that point that you want. First, let's do a bit of brainstorming and get our competences together to fix this and also to cultivate better this. That's the simplest plan of action now. Only then, when both of them are good running systems, let's think about merging them. Do we merge them when we are completely unprepared? Come on.
So, what's the second question the audience has for the teams? Any others? No. Just Raluca? Okay. What's the question?
I have a question for the government. You showed us a lot of statistics and percentages, but where did you get them? How can I trust you that those are real and you just haven't invented them?
So, where did you get your statistics? Where did you get your statistics or studies?
Because
If you use it.
I think someone gonna ask us about this. We put the source and we read it in the left up and put the source of this. And this is the Council of Europe, COE International. So if you want, you can take it and take a very deep look, and after that you can compare with the source that we from way to get.
Okay, so with Januk's permission, I just want to add that although we appreciate statistics, I want to say that non-formal education in our vision doesn't take statistics as a main objective. So we do not take the world as an Excel file. For instance, if you have a group of young people, you can have a youngster that is very good at maths, and the other one that is very good making popcorns. And this in non-formal education values the same. So this is not a matter of statistics. Although we made very clear homework, we clearly say that the most important message we should pass is non-formal education in our 3 hours project. The main goal is leaving no one behind, taking one case as the most important case of all. Thank you.
Okay guys, I'm gonna stand up because I like to talk. Only just the fact that they kept there on their statistic, the fact that 80% of the formal education is not good, this is already proving our point, okay? And also we only had one stat that we got from Eurostat. And also they mentioned something about
When they said about the Portuguese statistic, that this is really true. So that was our reply. The only
I will count on my clock 30 seconds in which you have to think which team was right, which team was wrong. Start thinking.
thinking.